Good morning, Patch. Morning, Sam. They're just getting up and getting around here. Had their breakfast, had their morning walk, did their little duties. Yeah. You guys are just resting, getting into the camping thing. You gonna come up and sit with me? That's a good boy. Yeah. He's just getting into the routine here of the camp thing. Had our first kind of cold night, huh? But we stayed warm. Got down to, it wasn't really chilly. It was like 43, 42 last night. Just cool enough where everybody's reaching for covers. Huh. Just getting up and getting around here. A lot of people here. We haven't seen this many people out here before. But it's not quite New Year. We got a couple more days before New Year's. It's a Sunday before New Year's. And I'm sure this place is going to get even packed. A lot more packed before all the big shows start. And we did a little ride into town to go get some stuff. And there are lots of options in Quartzsite if you need food and supplies. I know there's a Dollar General, there's a DG Market, which is like a Roadrunner market, as well as the gas stations all have supplies. There's a lot of, and Tyson Wells. Go into Tyson Wells, they have like a little marketplace there. And off to the side, if you're on an RV, there's the RV pit stop coming up right there off to the right. Great little place to go get your water tanks filled, propane filled, dump your holding tanks. They even do clean out services and stuff. So a one-stop shop right there. There's also one kind of like it up in Parker that we saw and used too as well. So there's a lot of those kind of places around here. We're just driving around, coming back into, there's the big tower. I think that's why we had such good cell service at HiJolly's, for that big tower right outside there. So keep that in mind. I'll show you at the end of the video a little bit. I'll show you the Bouse, Plomosa Road dispersed camping. There is a host, although the host wasn't there. He wasn't always there. We did come in and check on him. They do want you to kind of check in with the host. There's no fees. It's basically just to kind of like an honor system to make sure that everybody kind of knows what the rules are as far as 14 days stay limit and everything. And you can see it's starting to get a little bit crowded, but not too bad. But just wait. This was beginning of January, and just wait till the end of January. There'll be a lot more people out here. So we stayed we stayed till the next day, and then we headed up to Lake Havasu, Parker area. But we're also going to show you what we found in Bouse in just a second. So stay tuned on that. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this peek around HiJolly Campground and Quartzsite so far. And I know that Tammy and I are going to be continuing down the road. We're going to be heading up to Lake Havasu City and checking out some new dispersed camp areas up there that we haven't been to before. And we're also going to be checking into another place near Bouse, Arizona. And I'm going to add it on this video for you as a little bonus. If you're looking for some place to stay near Quartzsite, but you want to avoid the crowds, there is some really cool camping that we've seen and passed by before up near Bouse, Arizona. There's also Bouse Community Park, and I'll put a video for that one on here as well as we go through there. But there's another place just kind of west of Bouse on Plomosa Road. And if you want to find Plomosa Road is about 7 or 8 miles north of town on 95, on the Highway 95, and then you're going to turn and go east on Plomosa Road. And it will take you up through some really cool things to see. There's a fisherman intaglio. There's a Quartzsite drawing out in the desert there that you can see. There's also some other ruins and stuff up there that are really neat to see along Plomosa Road. And if you get to Bouse, 2 miles before Bouse are some dispersed camp areas. I'll show you what they look like. We're going to drive through them. And there is also a place at Bouse at the community park where you can dump your holding tanks. Stay there if you want. They have a campground, but they also have a place to dump. They also have water that you can take on water for your water tanks. So I'll show you those on there. But watch for this. Let's take you through the dispersed camping near Bouse on Plomosa Road. And I'm just going to narrate through as we drive around there. Hope you enjoy this. Gonna go check out some trails. Gonna check out some trails. Yeah, that's what I like to do. I know some of you probably don't understand this, and some of you do. I like to go out and get my eyes on the trails and my eyes on these places so I can see what it looks like. I know it's one thing to look at a map and it says, oh, you can camp here, but then to actually get out there with your eyes and look at it can sometimes be two different things. I've gone to places and tried to camp, and the roads are just rough and washboarded or rutted, and it's not something I want to take my motorhome down. But these two places that we found just south of Bouse are absolutely beautiful, and they weren't very crowded. Now, if you're looking at a map, you're going to look for Joshua Drive and go to the to Plomosa Road and follow that down a little bit. And this is actually on my map. It's called Bouse Plomosa BLM Camp Area. Now, some maps won't show that on there, but you're going to turn off here to the right and go off on this first. This is one of the first sections we found, and there were a few people back here, so you'll see them. It does go back farther. There's a fence. You'll see it in just a minute as you go back. There is a fence. I think there's a 14-day limit on this area, just like the little sign there said. So keep that in mind. But there's a lot of places. Look at how many places there are to pull off and camp. For some of you, you might want to get back a little farther so you're farther from the road. And honestly, at night, that highway is not traveled very heavily, so you're not going to get a lot of noise from the highway at night. You might during the daytime once in a while. But if you want it really peaceful and you want it really quiet, get back a little farther. You'll just be happy as can be. Happy as a clam, as they say. It's just a nice little area and lots of level places to pull off to. So this was the first section. I got back a little farther here, and you'll see in just a second there's a fence. See how, I mean, come on, see how great it is? Lots of places to pull off to, and you're close to Bouse, so if you need to, if you want to stay here for a week or two, and you need to dump your holding tank, go back into the community park right there. They have that really nice little campground. They have a dump station there. They also have water available. And you can spend a night there if you want, then move on to a different site or come back to this site. It's really kind of, you get a lot of flexibility because you're not too far from Bouse. There is a Family Dollar store in town, a couple other little markets, a little restaurant or a pub, I guess you'd call it, a deli. So things like that, a little store where they have some ice and liquor and soda and snacks and stuff. So if you did need something, and you could always go back into Bouse. I think there's a gas station too in town. Not a lot though. There are a couple of auto shops and things like that, repairs places where you can get auto repair done in a pinch, you know, those kind of things. Population of Bouse, I would say probably 400, 500 at most. So we went down and got back on the road, on Plomosa Road, and headed, in a second we're just going to head west on Plomosa Road. That right there was probably the bumpiest section that we found, and that wasn't really the main little area because we we're kind of taking a shortcut to get back to the highway. So get back on the highway, and we're going to head west. I have to make sure I'm not getting myself turned around here. Now we're going to go down the Plomosa Road just a little farther, probably a half a mile, and then there's a larger area. This is the main Bouse, Plomosa Road, BLM area. And so this is BLM, and I keep getting questions from folks who want to know what BLM, Bureau Land Management, Bureau of Land Management. It's part of the Department of Interior. A lot of folks really don't know that. It goes back years ago. Arizona and some of the western states were given land when they became a state. That became state trust land. They could do with. They were given a certain amount of land. The BLM is managed by the Fed, and so the federal government manages the BLM land, Department of Interior. But there's also state trust land, which is controlled and operated and owned by the state of Arizona or by whatever state the state trust land is in. It's kind of weird. Kind of a weird. It goes back years though, and. Lots of places along through here you can camp. A nice area. Look at how wide open it is. Not very many people. So if you're looking for places to camp and you want privacy, you don't want the noise, but yet you're still close enough that if you want to go back into Quartzsite and partake of some of the activities, the shows, you're really not that far away, 25, 30 minutes, and you're back in Quartzsite. Or if you need something in a pinch, go into Bouse. There's a couple places in there you can grab some things, right? As well as the dump station at the park there, community park. So if you see a little flag pop up in the upper right-hand corner, that'll be a link that I'll put for that Bouse Community Park later on, because we will do a video on that, as you'll see later on, so you can see what that looks like. We just went up probably half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, just to see and get the lay of the land. And this is why I like to do this, because I saw this and I think this is a great place to come back to. So this is probably something that I'll put in my list of places to come back to in the future and stay here for a while. And there are lots of, if you have an ATV or a Jeep or some vehicle that you have that maybe has 4-wheel drive that you want to explore a little bit, there's old mines in the area. There's also the Bouse. Bouse at one time had an army base, but it's on the other side of the highway there. There's the army base out there, the Bouse Army Base, that was built 1944, 43, 44, I believe. And it's about 20 miles out in the desert, but it's kind of a cool ride if you like to do that kind of stuff. I hear, although I haven't been out there, I hear that there are some equipment that's still in the sand buried out there. Tanks and old half-tracks, Jeeps, those kind of things that they just left there. As well as a 500,000 gallon water reservoir that they built. And they dug wells and everything to fill it up for the when they had the base there. I'll do another video on that, but that's just kind of interesting. I kind of got off on that for you. But watch for that. That's going to be the Bouse Community Park video that I do that and tell you about that. But isn't this nice? This is great, right? Lots of level places to pull off to. And we did a loop. We actually started at Veco Valley Road, went up to Quartzsite, and then we went up to Lake Havasu. So I'll do little videos on some of the places we stayed at. But this time of year in Arizona, you can't beat the weather here. I got to tell you. Our son lives in New York, and right now, as of the day that I'm filming this and recording this for you, it is like 20 degrees in Buffalo. 15, 20 degrees, and they have about 1.5 feet of snow on the ground. No, thank you. I'll take the desert. Maybe a few clouds like you see this day. This day it was probably 50, 60 degrees, and it was a little cloudy, overcast. Nothing like 20 degrees though, and no snow, right? So I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek at an area that maybe you didn't know about near Bouse, Arizona on Plomosa Road. It's the Bouse, Plomosa, BLM camping area, dispersed camp area. Great alternative for those of you looking for someplace to come out to and stay for a little while and just have some peace and quiet. Maybe avoid the big crowds, because I know some people, it's not for everybody, the big crowds in Quartzsite. But there's so many areas out here. You don't have to crowd in like that. There's so many areas. That's the beauty of this area, to come to and do some dispersed camping in the wintertime. You've got such an options, so many options and such a choices to take from, right, and enjoy. So safe travels wherever you're going. Hope you enjoyed this. And of course, be careful, be safe. And if you liked this video and found it helpful, please hit the like button. I appreciate the support from everybody who has been watching these videos, and we're going to try and do some more as we plan some things in the future. As the weather changes, we'll be doing more mountain camping, and right now we're just enjoying the desert. Have a great day. Bye-bye.